Hi, everyone. My name is Jeff, and I'm really happy to talk to you about a Dish Dash Global Cook-Off, which is my educational final project for EdTech. Um, Basically, this game is designed for students probably around fifth or sixth, all the way through high school and maybe even into junior college. The goal of the game is basically to have students. There are these amazing chefs that are traveling all around the world and gathering ingredients to enter into this cooking competition where mystery judges are going to determine which dish is best. So, my design is purely card based. I created the cards through MTG Cardsmith. And unfortunately, I can't take you through the process of how to create them because it does take a bit of time, about 2 to 3 minutes per card to create. A little bit longer if it's tougher to find the information, but here's a demonstration of one of the cards I created. This is Sierra Cassava, which is a vegetable from South America. This is basically tapioca. It's what makes bubble tea pearls and tapioca cakes. So basically, students would see something like this and take it and create a very unique dish from it. So I created these cards. I transported them over here to Canva, which is quickly becoming my favorite site. I put them all together on the sheets and then basically printed them all out and laminated and cut them into the individual cards, which you'll see during the demonstrations. The only other thing required for this game are a pair of dice, and I've done this intentionally to create some basic equity in the class. I didn't want to use phones, which may not be able to use a digital app. I didn't want to have laptops or anything like that. This is basically something to be done sort of at the end of the week when you have a few minutes and you want these students to start using their creative juices to really come up with new and unique ways and perspectives on how to cook dishes. So let's head over and take a look on how we play this game. So I'm going to start demonstrating the game here, and we're going to start with round one, which is basically where our students will start selecting their ingredients. Now, the idea of the game was that the students would travel around the world, gather all these unique ingredients, and use these unique ingredients to form a dish. So you have your standard ingredients, which are basically your generalized ingredients. They include pork and beef and fish and whatnot. You have your specialized ingredients. These are the stuff for the regional areas that are a little bit more specialized, like Alberta steaks or Indian curry or stuff like that. So they enhance the flavors of the dish. You also have your community chest, which is your random happenstance cards. You might come across something which makes you skip a turn, or you might run across something that enhances your end result. You also need 2 dice. So 1 dice, this blue one will be our regional dice, and this gray one will be our market dice. So basically, we're going to roll these, and I'm going to demonstrate real quick how each of these work. So first thing we do is we roll the dice, and you can see I rolled a 3 and a 4. So 3 means North America, and 4 means that I actually draw 2 cards. So you'll see these cards. One is a general product and one is a spice. So now I know that I have those 2 that I need to add to my dish. And we continue on around. So maybe I roll a 2, and I roll a 6. So 6, so 2 is Asia, and 6 means I draw one of the specialty cards. Now for Asia, let's say I randomly draw this very specialized rice. So you'll see this is the region where the rice comes from, which means it's very specialized. It's higher quality. It's better for your dish. You also see there's a little random fact and a website here at the bottom which tells you about that fact. So I add that to my list. Now this keeps going around and around for 6 rounds until you have all of the players have 7 cards. Your hand can have no more than 7 cards. So once we do that, we move to round 2. So now we've moved into round 2. So I've got 3 players. We went around in round 1 for 6 rounds, and each player ended up with 7 ingredients. And basically these 7 ingredients are the ingredients the students need to use in order to prepare their dish. So we also have prep cards and we have the chef cards. Now the chef cards are our mystery chef cards that will help the students determine what their scores are. So at the beginning of round 2, we select 3 chefs and we keep them face down. These are our mystery judges. We also give each student a prep. So these are the styles that the students have to use in order to prep their food. So player 1 draws baking, player 2 draws roasting, and player 3 draws steaming. So now the players have to determine how best to prepare their dish using all of these ingredients, as many ingredients as they can, and in the style of the prep they have to make it. So now the students really have to start thinking hard. You see a lot of them here have double ingredients, or they just have ingredients that may not work for them. You'll also notice some students have extra cards. He drew a community card which said basically he can draw anything from a discard pile, and this student drew a great kitchen, which means he gets extra point at the end of the game. So that's a very lucky draw. So as we see, the first student here has vegetables, wheat, a general product, which could be milk, butter, sour cream, anything that's not in any of these categories. He's got specialized rice, spices, and seafood. So he's going to make some kind of seafood paella using the seafood, Spanish spices, probably paprika, in this very specialized rice, and adding in probably a sour cream to kind of sweeten it up a little bit, and some wheat. He's going to put some bread on the side for you to dip in the paella. He's going to add some Spanish vegetables, probably some green peppers, red peppers, something like that. He's going to set that aside because if somebody tosses something out, he wants it, he can go back in and get it. Player number 2 has a bit more of a problem. He has a couple of eggs, a chicken, and some rice, but he doesn't really have any spices. Player number 3, however, has really cassava. He's got a matoke, which is sort of a plantain. He's got spiced rice and eggs. So he's probably going to make some kind of pork dish here with some rice as well. Using these eggs and his general ingredient, probably add in something and make some kind of Chinese stir-fry dish. However, he does not want the matoke. So he's willing to trade the matoke for these eggs. They trade ingredients. And now what he can also do is he can add these eggs in with the cassava and try to make some kind of porridge, or he can take these eggs and he can turn it in with the general product and add it in with butter. He's got all kinds of options. So each of them has to prep to the style. So this is where you get 10 minutes to start thinking about your dish, trying to piece it together. For younger students, we would allow them to go to the internet or discuss with the teacher what they could make. But for older students or more experienced students, we would want them just to take a look at what they have here and start trying to figure out the dish. So once they have everything trying to figure out, we move on to round 3. So now we're into round 3. So we each have a basic dish that we've decided ultimately to come up with. So unfortunately, player number 3 couldn't use these extra eggs, so he has to set that aside. He doesn't get rid of it because that's going to affect his future score. So he flips that upside down. He cannot use it. Player number 2, he's decided that he can use everything, yams and everything in this dish, but he decided he's going to try, he's not going to roast. He can't roast anything. He needs to bake instead. Player number 1, well, player number 1 seems to be going pretty good here. He's going to use everything in this Spanish paella, but he can't bake. So at the end of the last round, they decide to trade, roast and bake. And now this opens up more options for player number 3. So each of them has come up with their dish. And now we do the big reveal. Chef 1 is Rafael Oliveira. Chef 2 is Kaya Whitefeather. And chef number 3 is Annika Mira. So I've given each of them our AI-generated chefs. So there's no copyright issues there. Each of them has an interesting little backstory, and at the bottom of each card, they have their likes and their dislikes. So all of these ingredients that they've used, if somebody has used pork, like player number 3, instead of getting a point, they lose a point. So he gets 1 point for using it, but Rafael does like pork, so he gets an extra point. So now that's 2 points. But Kaya doesn't like pork. So that 1 point that Rafael gave, Kaya takes away. And then you see that Annika has no concerns about pork whatsoever. So ultimately that card is 1 point. You spend round 3 trying to figure out all of the points. Some are more valued than others. In other words, if you don't use the steam, if you don't use the prep style, you lose 5 points. If you don't use the specialty cards here, you lose 2 points, where otherwise you gain 2 points. So ultimately, the rule book will be attached to this. Ultimately, you'll be able to see, I've really gone quickly through this, but what this is designed to do is basically take you out of a comfort zone and force you to start thinking in much broader terms about what it is that you're capable of cooking. With the specialized cards, you'll also notice there's a lot of cultural relevance to them. Some of these cards will detail that some of these ingredients have been used for thousands of years and are very important to these cultures. So on top of learning how we can put these into a dish, we're also learning a lot about cultures and how other peoples use these ingredients you've never heard of in their everyday dishes. So I hope you kind of got the gist of the game. Unfortunately, because we only really have 15 minutes, I really couldn't do a deep dive on how the game is played. Again, my demonstration video, the first time I did this, was literally 21 minutes long. It's not that hard of a game to learn. I just really kind of wanted to show you all the little nooks and crannies about it. So ultimately, in the end, what are we learning through this game? Well, one, we're learning communication skills. The kitchen is a place where collaboration has to happen, and it has to happen fast. Any great kitchen is quick moving. Food is going everywhere. Orders are coming in, orders are going out. So there nearly needs to be a lot of communication. I purposely designed this game so that students would have to get out of their phone or get out of the laptop and start talking to one another and collaborating with one another about ingredients and dishes that they're going to cook. 2, really we're building on creative thinking, and we're really building imagination. You know, you can stay within a confined box when it comes to your ingredients. I'm only going to cook French. I'm only going to cook Chinese. I'm only going to cook Korean. But really great chefs have tastes for so many different things. They know the difference between a pear and a peach. They know the difference between an apple and another apple. A granny apple and a cosmic apple. They know the differences between that. And if you just stay within your box, you're not going to expand your knowledge and your repertoire of what it is that you can make into great dishes. Finally, we are trying to go away from just taking a recipe and cooking it into really starting to create your own dishes. Great chefs have great cookbooks and great dishes that they've created on their own. Now, that doesn't mean you can't take what was art and make it into your own. Painters do it, sculptors do it, and chefs do it as well. You can take spaghetti bolognese and add it or tweak it a little bit and something here and there, and you can make it your own. But really, making your own dish is what's going to make you shine. So I hope you liked the game. Get a hold of me and I can show you anything else that you want to know about it. It's been a fun semester. It's been a fun ride. I graduate on Saturday, so I am out of here. It's been a lot of fun. So thanks for listening to me and my game. Have a great one.